Hey guys, Aaron here, coming at you with a full-blown knife review. It has been a little bit. I posted my last knife review about a month ago. Just been busy, been on vacation, been working. Even this week is going to be a little north of an 80-hour work week for me. So busy, 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 but I'm not going to complain. That 80-hour work week, that overtime, that's what buys the knives, man. But yeah, so I'm very excited about this knife review. This is a custom knife from Jason Stout, or JBS Knives, depending on how you're feeling that day. Um, this is an extremely EDCable blade. I really, really like it. And yeah, so let's kind of get into it. Jason is a Tennessee knife maker. I'm telling you, Tennessee is killing it for custom knives. We have John Graham, we have Fultz, we have Horton, we have JBS, we have Blount, and more that I'm not positive of. I mean, that's a good lineup to have all within, a 2-hour drive of me. But Jason's killing it, and I'm going to tell you up front at the top of the video, get on his list. If you're a custom knife guy, this is somebody who you want to own, because it's not going to be long before he's famous and expensive. So, that's it. Let's do some general specs. This is the Jason Stout 3.0 Tanto blade. 3.0 stands for 3-inch. It is a 3-inch blade. The overall length on it is 7¼ inches. This is a compound ground Tanto blade. And it is 0.160 thick S35 VN blade steel. I opted for stainless with this guy because it's going to be a fairly heavy EDCer, but Jason will also work in D2, CPM D2. So my next knife with him will be in D2, and I'll tell you about that at the end of the video. But the handle is made of two 0.160 thick slabs of titanium that Jason flame colored. Pretty neat. And yeah, it weighs 5.5 ounces. It's a beefy knife. This thing is a tank, and that's kind of where the weight comes from. So 5.5 might be a little heavy for a 3-inch blade, but you're getting a lot of strength in this package for that weight payoff. So, in my opinion, ergonomically, this knife rides and handles like a Strider SNG should. It's perfectly proportioned. You can see it fits in my hand absolutely perfectly with my index finger indexing right into this choil here. It's locked into my grip. This is one of the most comfortable knives that I've held, next to like the Kershaw Tilt or something like that. The ergos of this knife are just unreal. It has kind of a squared off butt, very similar to the Strider styles, except that it isn't flared. And that does the same thing of kind of anchoring itself against your palm for thrusting cuts. So, sorry, I'm bumping the camera here a little bit. There's a very large amount of traction that's achieved by this jimping and milling that Jason does along the spine of the blade. And this kind of like blade spine groove here is standard for his knives, and I think it's a really cool detail. And it just adds a lot to the knife aesthetically. So there's that. The pocket clip is interesting. Some people are not going to like this. I've already heard from some of my friends that they don't particularly care for it. It's a custom milled spoon style pocket clip. It's got a lot of retention. It's nice and thin. I'm going to tell you that I really like it. I think it's a cool design element. I'm a big pocket clip guy, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on pocket clips unto themselves. But I like this one. It is big. It does have, I mean, when you have this knife in your pocket, you can't hide the fact that you have a knife in your pocket. But I really dig it. I think it colored up really well when he flamed it. I'm a fan. And it rides at exactly the right height. It's very deep, but it still allows you to extract the knife without any difficulty. It's really pretty great. And it sits really well in angled pockets, like a 511 tack light pockets or TAD like covert pants pockets or something. It fits really, really, really well in those. You have just enough to get the knife out it's pretty great. So, deployment and lockup. As you can see, the deployment of this particular knife is by an opening hole, and he offers his knives with opening holes, thumb studs, or sort of Emerson-style thumb discs. And my next knife will have thumb studs. This one has an opening hole. I really like the aesthetic of the hole and the fuller that he puts into his blade. I think it's really, really pretty cool. And he has begun to incorporate GTC stainless steel ball bearing, captured ball bearings in his pivots. And so you can see that with just a flick, the blade just rockets right out. And you can, I mean, the smoothness of the blade closing is really unreal, and you can just see that detent sucking in there. This is really a knife that has a detent that's done correctly. But it's a fun knife to play with. You can really feel the tolerances at work as you operate and handle the knife. He machines these things to a really, really incredible level of perfection, and I'm really digging that. The lockup is a titanium frame lock, and my lock is sitting at, it's a little bit later, I guess. It's probably about 50 or 60%. I think it's worn in really nicely, and it is rock solid with no movement in any direction. Like I said at the top of the video, this thing is a beast. It is a tank, and you will. I mean, this thing is gonna go through everything with you, and might show signs of wear, much less extreme signs of use. So the lock on this thing is just incredible. You can hear that. I mean, that is something else for a lockup sound. So, I mean, he called me over the phone when we were discussing a couple of things about my knife, and he's like, "Here, listen, that was your knife opening. It's like a switchblade." I thought that was pretty neat. So, blade shape. As you can see, this is a compound ground Tanto blade. It has a very aggressive hollow grind on the primary bevel here. It takes it down like, he took it down almost like a straight razor, if you can see that. And then the front Tanto edge is flat ground. And here's what I will say. This cutting bevel is like kind of weirdly, uncomfortably, like awkwardly sharp. It is unreal. Let me see here. Now I've been carrying and using this. This hasn't been freshly stropped. It came out of my pocket today from EDCing it. And I mean, that is just bananas. I mean, it just pushes through paper. So, that's really, it's pretty unreal. And then the front edge, it's less aggressively sharp, but it is still very sharp. And that's kind of what you want for a Tanto point. This is going to be much more of a utility edge, and this is going to be your slicing edge. I mean, you can, it sings kind of like a razor does. But you get a lot of utility for your money out of this particular blade shape. Because it makes a great cutter slicer. You can press cut with the tip. You have a lot of flexibility for scraping and stuff like that. A lot of utility out of this blade shape. And then aesthetically, I think it's really cool with kind of the compound grinds that he does here. And you kind of have this swedge here. I think it looks really neat, and that's what originally drew me to it. Let's see here. Another thing that I'm going to start talking about with these knives that I haven't done in the past is kind of the overall custom factor and why you might or might not want to deal with Jason as opposed to another maker that you've heard of out there. And what I'm going to do for this knife in particular is I'm just going to tell you about my handle finish here. Because originally, when I ordered from Jason, I wanted a murdered out, I wanted acid dip, stonewash, dark tumbled blade, and I wanted the same on the handles. I wanted this thing to look evil and mean. But the day before, Jason's only a couple hours from me, so we were going to meet up for him to deliver the knife. And the day before, I get a phone call from Martin, Tennessee, where he's from. And Jason goes, "Hey Aaron, I wanted to let you know, before I tumbled your handles out, I took a flame to them, and they popped out all kinds of golds, purples, blues, And he says, I'm going to be honest and say, this is one of the coolest handles I've seen in a long time. And he's like, I'll tumble this out if you want, but I think it's pretty unreal. And I mean, he was so pumped over the phone. And I just, you got to understand that, like, to have a maker that treats your custom order as something he's stoked to build, it's not just a knife of this model that I'm doing a run of. And I mean, I don't mean any offense to some makers that work that way, but to have Jason call me up because something serendipitous and really neat happened with my knife was really a great experience. And he's such a nice guy. So we opted to keep, obviously, the flamed handles as, I mean, look at that. Look at how cool that is. I mean, I wouldn't tumble that out. I think that's awesome. And as the oils of your hands and stuff kind of hit this, the colors change. And then what he did was he retempered the blade and left kind of this, you can see how it looks kind of yellow, kind of gold. He left that, that's the oxidation from the temper from the heat treat, and he left that on there. So you got kind of these blue gold handles that move into sort of a yellow tinted stainless steel blade. So I mean, overall, each knife he makes is unique to some extent, and he gets really pumped about the stuff that he makes. And he's really accessible. His phone number's on his website, which will be in the description. And give him a call, get on his list, ask him some questions. I got home from taking this knife for delivery and immediately emailed him and said, put me on again. Let's do this again. And the next knife I'm going to get is just going to be a thick 4-inch butcher blade style. And I'm going to go for murdered out again. I'll tell him, if something crazy happens with my handle, we'll do that. But my intention is to go murdered out with, I'm going to get a D2 blade so it really blackens up in the tumble stonewash. But yeah, his knives start at about $400 and go up from there. And I think there might be you might be able to get into a liner lock or something for a little south of $400. But figure $400 or $500 is what you're looking at for one of his folders. His fixed blades are a little less. So, and his wait list, when I got on it in January, it was around 3 to 4 months, which is nothing for custom knife makers. So, give him a call, get on his list, order a knife, because he is an incredible maker, and he's up and coming, man. Like, he's pretty much there. But I would suggest getting on his list now, while the wait's short and he hasn't raised his prices, because he should, right after he finishes my knife. And, I think he's going to. He's a maker to watch, that's for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. As with everything else, there's a link in the description to my Facebook and my webpage. Check out practicallyeveryday.com for a full written review, more pictures, more detail shots. And my email's on there. Send me an email with any questions you have. You can PM me here. I'm looking forward to your comments. I really appreciate it, guys. Jason Stout, JBS Knives, 3.0 Tanto EDC folder. Freaking amazing knife. Great, great custom blade if you are in the market. So, give him a call. Get on his list. That's it. I'm out of here.